This is an amazing event. I'm quaking here. Heroes, heroines. Barbara Buttrick. We have a muddy field. We have a muddy field in Yorkshire to thank for Barbara Buttrick's historic career as a female boxer. If it hadn't been for that rainy day, she'd never have been admonished to wipe her shoes with a newspaper, thereby missing the story of Polly Burns, a legendary boxer who plied the boxing booths of England at the turn of the century. Reading about Polly, Barbara was thunderstruck, and has been boxing's gain that the mighty atom of the ring chose to pursue a career in the squared circle. Barbara went on to box in England and France in the early 1950s before making her way to the United States, where she literally barnstormed around the country, knocking down the barriers that prevented women from contesting the sport in the ring. After an illustrious career that included being the first woman to be licensed in the state of Texas, if you can believe that, in the 1950s, and an official record of 31-1, a record that belies the hundreds of fights in her career, Barbara went on to a second career promoting women in the sport when she created the Women's International Boxing Federation in the late 1980s, which continues at the forefront as a sanctioning organization for female boxing championships. She is also, as ever, a fierce advocate for the sport she loves. We are about now to, what we're going to be doing is now showing a film about each person so you can see a little bit about their history.
I think all this talk about girls not boxing is old-fashioned. Girls aren't the delicate flowers they used to be. Anyhow, my boyfriend doesn't mind, so why should I?
I was playing soccer a lot when I was a kid, you know, I was about 14 years old. One of the girls and I had been kicking a ball around in the muddy field, and we went to her house, and her mother said, "Can't come in here with those shoes, clean them off," and she threw down a newspaper on the floor. And I'm looking at that newspaper, and in the newspaper it says, "Polly the Champ." And there's this older woman with a pair of boxing gloves on. And I said, "What's this?" "Hey, wait a minute, don't clean your shoes on this, I want this piece." And it was about a woman called Polly Burns. And she used to box in the British boxing booths in around 1914 era. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. I'm going to take up boxing. I think there's quite a bit of difference in the styles of boxing today than there was back in the 40s and the 50s. When I started boxing, it was more or less a straight left, mainly most of the time, and that's what I developed, but I developed a very snappy, hard straight left. And today, more, they move around more like dancing on the feet, whereas back in my day, we would shuffle more. We had leather sole shoes and resin, so that you moved around, you shuffled in more, and you didn't dance around so much. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, for our inaugural 2014 International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame, please welcome Barbara Buttrick.
I'm very proud to be here and honoured that I'm the the first one up here, and the first one to get inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame. I want to thank Sue Fox and everyone else who's been involved with her for all the hard work they've done. I think it's great. And as you all know, my greatest fight was with the prejudice that was shown to us in the early days. And now what I enjoy to see is all these girls going in the Golden Gloves, and the fact that they were accepted into the Olympics now, and the gyms are full of little girls learning to box. So I'm not one for a lot of words, so I close on that and just say this Hall of Fame is now taking us all forward, and we all look forward to the future. Thank you.
It's an honor to give you your plaque tonight for the very first in our History First event. Here you go.
First story, not history.